Welcome friends to some more 7 Days to Die, and as you all know probably if you've been following development of Alpha 19 is that the slippery slope has been, I'm not going to say nerfed because it's more of a fix. They used to be able to basically just walk up here and they would slide down like this. Now they basically, they don't. They walk up here and they walk over, actually more effective than you as a player can. So it no longer works to drop the, I got over there. It no longer works to drop the zombies down into a pit or down to restart their path. So I guess it's the end of the slippery slope. No more killing corridors and stuff like that. No. That's absolutely not the case, even though the fun pimps will love it to be. And if you like my videos and find them useful, why not hit that subscribe button at the bottom and maybe the bell as well so you can get notified when I post new videos, which I do a few times a week. And of course, leave a like on the video. So even though the fun pimps would really love that to be the case, that that can no longer be done, it just means that we have to not change it up to something new. It's actually changing back to something old. So I'm going to show you a technique that I have been using for years, that I used that back in Alpha 17. I even have some videos using it, where you could use a different mechanism to actually accomplish the same thing. Some people might be thinking this is a new thing, but no, this worked really well before as well. Just that a lot of people prefer to use the slippery slope because they were a little bit easier to place and they were a little bit more reliable. Not that it really matters in the long run. So let's see here. So I'm going to show how to build this little base, and I'll show you how effective it is, not just with some random zombies, but I'm going to show it even with Blood Moon Horde. So we're going to start, of course, with a little bit of a ramp up here. We don't want to make it too high, but we obviously want to make sure that there's a little bit of air up so that the zombies don't randomly continue to bash on the ceiling. Or you probably want to have it, if you can make this high enough, probably about, this is 3, you probably could have it about 5 or something high, because then cops that explode below will do a lot less damage to it. But in this case, I'm gonna make it, let's see, 3, let's see here, you don't have to really make it super high, so I'm just gonna make it like this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th. Okay, so that works pretty good. Simple. So I'm going to show you the basics, and then I'm going to sort of expand it into, well, something else. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is usually pretty alright. Longer, of course, is better up to a point. If you make it too long, the zombies will not pack. I'm going to start to make, well, over here is actually going to be the base proper. This is really just the entrance, and I'm actually not going to have these ones here. Die. Little block. This is simply going to be here so we have a little bit of a platform, and let's do something like this just to show how it will look. I'll make this look a little bit better after I have showed the basic well, the basic functionalities. So instead of using the slippery slope, we're going to use, well, the ramps. Why do we use the ramps? Well, actually, they have a really nice property. The zombies will walk on them regardless of orientation. So we're going to put them like this, 4, 5, and then we're going to start putting like this. And of course, I'm doing this simply because I'm in creative. If you were not in creative, you probably would not be wasting blocks like I am now. It just is a little bit easier when you're in creative to just place it down and then just take them out rather than having to continually replace them. Let's see, copy rotation, place that one down, destroy it, and put it like this. Oh, you might be able to actually see what it is all about now. It's actually a really simple technique, and it's surprisingly effective. And as I said, I used this back in Alpha 17, Alpha 18, not so much because the slippery slope is just simpler to build with. But now you have here this kind of diamond shape. And as a player, obviously you would walk over here. I mean, we're smarter. Zombies, however, don't, because they path across it. And that's really what you want to use. Now, there's a difference between running zombies and walking zombies. But let me put it down here. Let me spawn in a couple of, let me see, who should we bring in? Let's get a couple of Joes. Come on, Joe. Alright, while they are slowly making their way here, let's bring in some feral if they can get past. And we'll see what happens here. They obviously are coming up here because they're pathing towards me and trying to get up. And he runs and he gets past. But you see the walking one, he fell down. So the running ones, oh, sort of got into there. Interesting. So what you saw here is that the running one is able to just barely make it up on the other side instead of falling down. He falls down a little bit, but then he sort of recovers by coming up. Ooh, he's still alive as well. By coming up again on the other side. Ooh, that was a pretty good bouncing hit. So, does that mean this doesn't work? Does it mean it only works for walking ones? Yes and no again. It really depends on how you want to define it. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do something slightly different. We are going to put in some, let me do advanced rotation here. All right, let me do it on this side then. So we're going to put in a little bit of some plates here because we need something to hold things up. And this is going to be sort of the wall of the corridor. So let me put it at 3 high. Don't really want it 4 high. Thank you very much. And what we then do, so we don't want them to be able to be here on this side. That's the problem. If they're too far to the side, they will be able to basically bounce up and continue. So we're going to trick them a little bit. We're going to do something like something like that. So it means that even if they try to hug here, they will fall down. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. If I can switch things over and let me build that up. Now that we have this side, you can see I can do that. I am actually going to do that here on these ones as well, because they could theoretically sort of slide in a little bit, special if there's a lot of them and they sort of bump each other. And that's one thing you really want. I said copy rotation, please. And that's what you want to avoid happening. So we're going to do something like this. And you see, you do fit in between and you can jump over, but of course the zombies cannot. So let's restart that. Let me do this. Let me get in a couple of zombies. Obviously, Mose. Mose is really nice. Come on, Mo. He should be walking up here, or rather running. You see, he runs and he gets shoved into the middle. And that means he falls down. And that's exactly what we want. So now he has fallen down. He's standing down here. And I think this one is coming back again. And you see it works really, really well. Now you might not want to have 3. You could have 1, or you could have 2. I'd like to have a little bit more just in case there's a lot of zombies. Sometimes they might jump. You might have a spider jump past. At least it gives you a little bit more distance to the zombie. I have done builds like this before where I literally just have 1 of this and I stand here and just bash. And that's what we're also going to be doing. We're going to be seeing, can I put this one down? Oh, it's correct. See if I do this. See, so now I put these ones here. And I've opened them, or I've rather left them closed. Let's see if it actually allows him to come past them, or whether he still falls down. Oh yeah, you see how he sort of goes, but he does slow down a little bit, and he does get a little bit confused. And actually, let's close this one like that. And I think that one of them, yep, he's gonna come back here, and then it allows you to hold on. Let me give myself let's give myself a sledgehammer. Sledgehammers are always really good, and because they have a nice range. You could use a spear, I suppose, but they have a nice bash effect. And you can basically stand here and do as a melee base as well, because this little trick will mean that the zombies have enough speed if they're running that they can make it over it. They do get pushed out a little bit, but then they still get over here. And because of this sort of the shape of it, they still fall down here. They do get stuck a little bit over there. Come on, Mo. Come on. Okay, let's get a few more. He's not quite cooperating as much as he should be. He gets angry. You don't want to make Mo angry, and he might eat you up. See, there you go. Let's get some more yos here. You can stand here and basically just bash them. Oh, and they're not likely to be able to get to you unless you stand too close and happen to hit at the right moment before they fall down. And if you're a little bit quick on your feet, you can do this as well. Oh, and of course there he hit me and I missed him. That was embarrassing. All right, let's see you do this again. See, what a good melee base as well. So you don't even have to stand here with a gun, even though with the gun it's probably the most effective. Just stand there, shoot them in the face when they run in. Pretty effective, right? And again, if you don't want to have them be so close, you just open it up and they will start falling down here as well. So while it's not a slippery slope, the technique is really similar. So let me finish up here a little bit and we'll try it with a Blood Moon Horde as well and see how it looks when you have a bunch of Blood Moon Horde zombies running in. Does the AI change anything or does it work the same way? And the new improved old killing quarter is completed. So we have obviously the ramp up, we have the killing quarter, and we have our little base here. So what I did, I put in a little bit of a ladder here up to door. You can come in and close it after yourself. I also made sure, and this is something you have to be a little bit careful about in Alpha 19, make sure that you have bars on top of your buildings. Why? Because the vultures will come down and they will not just be sitting up there, they will be attacking. So you want to make sure you have some way of shooting them and killing them when they are above you. And I did the same thing here, so if they end up here, I can actually shoot them as well. I do have, let me see if I can open up, I do have some hatches here that I can open and close. So if I want to shoot something, like, you know, I see Darlene there. Marlene, or whatever she is, Arlene, then I can just easily just open and kill. And of course I can do the same thing on this side, but here it is pretty nice in the front, and I can actually hide here as well if I want to get out of their sort of sight line. But how would this hold up during, oh there we go, and he falls down. Oh, really good. He shows exactly what happens. Now there is no way to kill the zombie except manually. So I'm going to gear up a little bit. I'm going to make sure I have some guns and a melee weapon and everything that I can use to kill them, because they will fall down here. Some of them will obviously be bashing here. There will be some damage. You want to make sure you have enough pillars to handle that. Probably upgrade to steel when you can, or just have some extra pillars. And that should be enough. There will be some damage here, depending on what game stage you have and everything. They will be feral or radiated, and of course do more damage. But let me start the Blood Moon Horde, and we'll see what happens. And there we have it. Blood Moon Horde and a Blood Moon Rabbit over there. Alright, so they are running over here as expected, and when they come up here, it's good they came from the side. I forgot I should have probably smoothed out the sides as well. But you see what happens. They run up here, they get pushed out, fall down into the middle. Some of them, as you notice, actually makes it one past. I'm not really sure whether any will make it two past. Usually just one, and then because that one is closed, you'll see this one is closed. It means that they will fall down here. Theoretically, they could actually make it past even here if they get bumped just the wrong way by the zombies. Well, by their friends. And then they will fall down. Some will ragdoll. Of course, if you have it a little bit higher, they will definitely ragdoll a lot more often. Here, they sometimes land on each other. And of course, some of them get angry, which of course is not what you want. But isn't this so beautiful? I mean, you can see them run in. You see the arms stick through, which is kind of weird, but it's because I only have a plate. It's very thin. That's why the arms are sticking out. If you make it a full block, that won't happen. And then they fall down. And then they get aggroed and a little bit irritated and start bashing in the front. But eventually they will continue and start running up again. So if you're standing here like I am, well, you might want to say, hey, let me close this one. And let me do a little bit of melee. Maybe you don't want to waste your ammo, and you just want to bash the melee. Now you do want to take care though, because theoretically if they make it past here, they actually could make it past, well, and run into your small little base here, and you don't want that. And this is why you bring up your weapons sometimes, just to clear out when there's a little bit too many. In this case I am using the auto shotgun with a shotgun choke mod, which worked really well. The Desert Vulture, the new weapon, works really well as well, because you know they're all coming here right in front of you. Now they do run a little bit sideways left and right as well, which did not happen during the use of the slippery slope, but at least they're not going to make it all the way to you. And again, if you want to avoid that, just open these ones and they'll fall down even early on. So you see this, how effective this is. I can probably stand here and idle most of the horde. Unfortunately, some of them will get aggroed and they will stand down there and bash something. See if we get that to happen. Yep, I think, yep, that one. But if you have a pretty good view here, so if that happens, you actually could stand here and just shoot them. You could do that when they're ragdolling as well, because when they're ragdolling, then they stand still for a moment, and you see that one. Saw that one as well. Someone ran in the front, and just shoot them in the head. And you could do that with, obviously, with maybe with a bow or something as well. So my game stage here is 132. I am day 28. I bumped my level up a little bit to get a little bit more. So I'm not getting any radiated zombies. You saw they are doing some damage to these ones, especially the first ones, because when they get too many, and I bumped it up to 16 concurrent zombies here, when there are too many in front, they basically get in each other's way and they want to get through and they start bashing it. But even if they break through here, we have another and another layer, so they could take out one of them if you don't manage to repair, but then you just, well, you have another and a third layer. So that's not a major issue anyway, and it's just a little bit of concrete. Personally, I love to use my auto shotgun, but I'm not really sure I would be wasting my ammo here. I would probably try to kill them in melee if I could, and if I didn't have enough ammo. And barring that, of course, there's always the nice little AK-47 that you can pull up as well, with a high magazine and high damage, and it's pretty good for doing headshots. And I think that was it for the wave that was coming, because I wiped them all out. And if you're good enough at shooting, they won't even make it through here. So what do you think? As a replacement from the slippery slope to manage your killing corridor, I think it works really, really well. And that's what I was using it back in Alpha 17, even though it wasn't quite as effective as the slippery slope simply because they don't run straight anymore. They sort of zigzag a little bit as they get pushed past here. But they still fall down and they still reset, and that's really all that matters. I hope you found this both entertaining and educational, and try it out yourself and let me know, how do you tweak it and how do you modify it to make it fit your base concept. Let me know in the comment section below. I'll catch you in the morning.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.